Fatherless homes are the most dangerous places to grow up.
Okay.
Nobody wants to say it, so I will. The most dangerous place a child can grow up in America today is not a rough neighborhood.
Okay.
It is not a failing school.
Right.
It is not a poor zip code. It is a home without a father. And the data has been screaming this for decades.
Right.
While the culture covered its ears and kept celebrating the men who left and the system that pushed them out. 1. The numbers they do not teach in school. 63% of youth suicides come from fatherless homes. 90% of all homeless and runaway children come from fatherless homes. 85% of all youth sitting in prison right now grew up without a father. 80% of rapists motivated by displaced anger came from fatherless homes. 71% of all high school dropouts have no father in the house. These are not opinions. These are not talking points. These are government statistics sitting in public databases that nobody in mainstream media will read to. You on the evening news, because if they read those numbers out loud, they would have to answer an uncomfortable question. What did we do to the fathers? 2. A father is not a paycheck. He is a blueprint. The modern conversation about fatherlessness always reduces it to money. Child support, financial provision, income levels, as if the only thing a father is good for is a direct deposit. That is the lie that made the system possible. A father is not a paycheck. A father is a presence. He is the first man a son learns to become. He is the first man a daughter learns to trust. He sets the standard for what a man looks like, sounds like, and acts like inside a home. When he is gone, the children do not just lose income, they lose the blueprint. And a child who grows up without the blueprint spends the rest of their life building with broken tools. 3. What a son loses when the father leaves. A boy without a father does not stop needing a father. He goes looking for one. In the streets, in gangs, in older men who do not have his best interest at heart, in music that glorifies destruction and calls it freedom, in a culture that hands him a gun and a hustle and calls it manhood. The gang is not recruiting broken boys by accident. The gang is offering exactly what the absent father left: vacant, brotherhood, identity, protection, a code to live by, a sense of belonging that every boy is wired to need. When the home cannot provide it, the street will, and the street charges a price that most of those boys will spend the rest of their lives paying. Prison, death, generational, cycles of the same wound repeating in the next generation. 4. What a daughter loses when the father leaves. A girl without a father does not stop needing a father either. She goes looking for him in every man she meets. She mistakes intensity for love because she never saw what steady love looks like. She accepts disrespect because she has no reference point for what respect from a man feels like. She gives herself to men who do not deserve her because she is searching for the validation her father was supposed to give her for free. The statistics on girls from fatherless homes are devastating. They are more likely to engage in early sexual activity, more likely to become teenage mothers, more likely to enter abusive relationships, more likely to struggle with self-worth and identity throughout their adult lives. This is not her fault. She was handed a wound she did not ask for, and a culture that celebrated the father's absence handed it to her with a smile. 5. The system was designed to remove him. The father did not just leave. In many cases, the system removed him. Family courts that award primary custody to mothers in the overwhelming majority of cases. Child support structures that treat the father like a financial resource rather than a parent. A welfare system that pays more when the man is not in the house. A culture that portrays fathers as incompetent, unnecessary, and dangerous. The message sent to fathers in America for 50 years has been consistent. You are not needed. You are not trusted. You are not welcome. And then the same system turns around and studies the effects of fatherlessness with a straight face. As if it did not engineer the outcome, it is now researching. They built the machine. They ran it. And now they are writing papers about the wreckage. 6. The church went quiet at the wrong moment. Malachi 4:6 says the heart of the fathers will be turned to their children and the hearts of the children to their fathers. The Bible understood something that modern culture is only now beginning to measure. The father is the hinge of the family. When he is present and engaged and leading, everything around him has a chance. When he is absent, everything begins to fall. The Western Church had an opportunity to stand in the gap, to preach the importance of the father, to call men into their role with conviction and urgency, to push back against a culture that was systematically dismantling the family. Instead, it went soft. It chased relevance. It avoided controversy. It stopped preaching fatherhood and started preaching feelings. And the pews filled with women and fatherless children while the men disappeared. 7. The cycle eats itself. Here is what nobody wants to confront. Fatherless boys become men who do not know how to be fathers. They were never shown. Nobody modeled it. Nobody required it. Nobody held them accountable to it. So they repeat the wound. They have children they are not equipped to stay for. And those children grow up fatherless and repeat the cycle again. This is not a poverty problem. This is not a race problem. This is a fatherlessness problem that cuts across every demographic and leaves the same wreckage everywhere it lands. And it will keep repeating until the culture decides that the father is essential, not optional, not replaceable, not a lifestyle choice, essential. Final word. If you are a man watching this, understand what you carry. Your presence in your children's lives is not a small thing. It is not background noise. It is not one factor among many. It is everything. The son who watches you will become you. The daughter who knows you will measure every man she meets against the standard you set. The home you build or fail to build will echo for generations in ways you will never fully see. You are not replaceable. No government program is you. No stepfather fully closes the wound. No amount of child support buys back what your presence would have given for free. Be there, stay, lead, because the world your children will live in depends entirely on whether the men of this generation decide that fatherhood is worth fighting for. It is. Harrison, follow me if you find value in this video.